Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Today, I will be talking about APA formatting. APA stands for the American Psychological Association, which is the organization that developed this wonderful style, and don't you ever forget it. This, along with MLA, are arguably two of the most widely used organizational styles in academic writing. In this video, I will primarily be focusing on some key defining aspects of the style and not content in order to help better prepare you and help prepare you. And you in the back, I don't forget about you. I'm going to help you too. I'm going to help you submit written work in the collegiate setting. And with that being said, let's get to it. Firstly, I highly recommend checking out Purdue University's online writing lab. I have consulted this website countless times throughout my collegiate career in order to make sure that my assignments were properly formatted, and I will be using it again as a guide to ensure that the information I provide you with is correct. Along with APA, Purdue's Writing Lab website also features information on MLA formatting, Chicago style formatting, and AMA style formatting, as well as information on general writing, job search writing, and English as a second language, or ESL. If that wasn't enough, the people at Purdue also organize and present all of their information in a very user friendly manner, and they also frequently update their website in order to accurately reflect the demands of each current style revision, which is unfortunately every other year or so. If you are going to take anything away from this video, then please take my advice and save this website. You'll quickly realize how essential it really is when it comes to academic writing. Secondly, I will be using OpenOffice as my primary Word document processor. Now, I understand that most colleges offer students Microsoft Word for free, and that most people grew up using Microsoft Word. But the reason I am using OpenOffice is because it is a copy of Microsoft Word, and it's absolutely free. I began using OpenOffice when I first got my Macbook Air during my freshman year of college, only to find out that it did not come with Word. I either had to start paying for the program after I graduated, or use Apple's dreaded word processor, Pages. I, for one, didn't want to pay for Microsoft Word after I graduated, so I did some quick research and landed on OpenOffice. While there are some small feature and layout differences between OpenOffice and Microsoft Word, the formatting skills I will be showing you today should transfer over fairly easily to Word. Between this program and Google Docs, you should be well equipped to complete any of your assignments at absolutely no cost and with no strings attached whatsoever. The first thing we will be starting off with is line spacing, since it is one of the simpler formatting features that we can set. Begin by locating the menu bar on your computer and look for the Format tab. You can locate this tab literally at the top of your computer screen if you are using an Apple computer like myself. Once there, click on the Format tab to open its drop-down menu and then click on the Paragraph feature. A box should then open, providing you with some parameters that you can adjust. Locate the line spacing section near the bottom of the box and change the default line spacing from single to double. Click the OK button once you are done to exit the box and type a few words on the page to make sure that it worked. Seems pretty good. The second thing we will be setting up are the page margins. APA requires us to leave an empty 1-inch margin around each page. To accomplish this, go back to the Format tab and click on Page ... from the drop-down menu. Go to the bottom left corner of the task box once it opens and locate the margin section. Here, we are going to change the left, right, and bottom margins from their default setting of 0.79 inches to 1 inch. The top margin is going to be set to 0.5 inches, and I will explain why we do this later when we set up the header. Along with double-spaced lines, the 1-inch margins serve as a standard for collegiate academic writing. The cover page is a unique aspect of APA formatting which greatly distinguishes it from MLA. According to Purdue University's online writing lab, the cover page should contain the title of the paper, the author's name, and the institutional affiliation. These 3 pieces of information are written out in that order, with each one receiving their own line. Lastly, we must format it so it is centered, and we can do that by highlighting the text that we have just written and clicking on the center button conveniently located above the page. The header in APA is unique because it is the same except for the first page. We will start off by going to the same area where we found the Format tab and clicking on the Insert tab next to it. Click on the Header feature from the drop-down menu and click on Default, which should generate a header at the top of the page. OpenOffice automatically creates the header with 0.5 inches of spacing, and because we originally set the top margin to 0.5 inches, we now have a 1-inch margin containing a header. Once you have this set up, type running head, and follow that with your title in all caps, making sure that your text is left justified. With your typing cursor still present within the header, go back to the Insert tab, locate the Fields feature, and select page numbers from the given options, which should automatically generate a page number for every page. After this, simply space out the page number so it is as far right as possible. Here, I generally export this cover page so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the paper. Go to the menu bar, locate the File tab, and then click the Export as PDF option from the drop-down menu. After you save that file, go back to your Word document, delete running head, and fix the spacing for your page number in the header. When you are completely done with your paper, simply switch the cover page with the original one that you exported containing running head. I do this because unlike Microsoft Word, OpenOffice does not have a feature that allows you to create a different header for the first page. According to the Purdue Al website, the abstract is a brief, single-paragraph summary between 150 and 250 words containing the main points of your research. Start off by typing abstract at the top of the page and center justifying it. Press Enter and left justify the text to start your new paragraph, making sure to not indent. Here, be sure to include your research topic, questions, methods, any analysis and data, and lastly, your conclusions. Any keywords utilized throughout your paper are also mentioned here, and this is done by making a new paragraph, indenting, and typing keywords, in italics, followed by the list of words. Next, we are going to talk about in-text citations. There are many ways to integrate citations into sentences, but for the sake of this video, I will only be going over the parenthetical citation at the end of a quote. After the closed quotation mark, type in an open parentheses, followed by the last names of the authors in alphabetical order, making sure to use an ampersand before the last name. Follow this with a comma, the year, comma, And lastly, P, period, and then any page numbers referenced. Here, you can see an example of an in-text citation that I borrowed from the Purdue OWL website, which models the correct way to format this. Lastly, I'm going to be talking about the Works Cited page. Similar to the in-text citations, there are many ways to format your cited works depending on the information that you are able to gather, and because of this, I will be focusing on the most rudimentary form of this citation to avoid making this video too long. First, start off by typing Works Cited at the top of the page, making sure that it is center justified. Next, click Return and format the text to be justified back to the left. According to the Purdue OWL website, a proper Works Cited entry must contain all of the contributors' names followed by the last edited date, providing the year, comma, date in parentheses, the title of the resource in italics, and lastly, retrieved from followed by the link of the source. Here, I have an example modeling the appropriate APA citation format, once again borrowed from the Purdue OWL website. Take note of the period placements which aim to separate each piece of information, as well as the indentations that each successive line after the first must contain. Lastly, simply organize your sources via alphabetical order, using the first letter of each citation as a guide to your organization. Well, this wraps up my basic guide to APA formatting, but before you go, I just want to leave you guys with a few points. Firstly, do please check out the Purdue OWL website as it goes into far greater detail than I ever could. Secondly, do keep in mind that these formatting styles change fairly often because these organizations want to make money, and know that these academic institutions will keep adopting their standards because they've traditionally done so for a while now. These updates would be justifiable if they were spaced farther apart or if they actually made the formatting process less confusing. But oftentimes they make seemingly minuscule changes such as where to place a comma or whether or not to use P and a period before the page number. I just want you to realize that at the end of the day, everything that I may be showing you can be obsolete by tomorrow, which makes it all the more important to stay up to date with this information, which you can do by following Purdue University's online writing lab. Anyways, I hope this video was at least somewhat helpful in any way, and I wish you the best of luck on your academic journey.